Hello, 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 everyone. This is the Fantasy Fiends podcast / show with Stevie Collier and, of course, with my co-presenter, Andy Peliquin. Today, we have another awesome show for you guys, but we have some sad news, and that is our guest could not show up today, and man, his poor guy. Andy, you want to say what happened to him? He's not dead.
No. He went with his family on a trip, like a month-long trip to Thailand, and COVID happened while they were there. So they've been staying there, which is awesome because they get to like live on the beach and enjoy that. But I had set up his appearance before he traveled, so it would have been like it's like 2:30 in the morning over there right now. So it was no way to do it. But when he comes back to this side of the world, we'll get him back on.
Poor guy. I mean, is his family over there too?
Yeah. Him and his whole family. They went there for like a writing retreat kind of thing, or like, to give their kids, the travel experience. And so I'm sure it's been really awesome for them getting to stay there and stuff. Like he's taking pictures of writing on the beach or, enjoying time in the sand and the sun. Like it's a pretty sweet deal, all things considered.
Well, what was his name again?
Brandon Ellis.
Oh, yeah. Wait. Yeah, the sci-fi guy.
Yes.
I met him at Las Vegas.
Yeah, probably.
Oh my! I didn't know our time with him was so because I'm so confused. I thought we were gonna have him like in August, September, and so you were saying he's in the Philippines and he's like posting pictures of his feet in the sand. I'm like, oh my god, I know a guy who's been doing that too.
Thailand.
What'd I say?
Philippines.
Oh, that's where I hire a lot of my virtual assistants. So, which, by the way, if you do need a virtual assistant, definitely get one from the Philippines. They're amazing, high quality workers. And you may think you're not paying them a lot, but you are to that currency over there. It really does help. And they usually have to take a bus 2 to 3 hours away from their home to get to their job. So this is actually helping them out a lot. So check them out on Upwork. I always, try to support the Philippines. I've been reading the Bible lately, and I keep calling the Philippians the Philippines. Oh yes, the Philippines with Goliath from Gath, the Filipino. I don't know if there's ever been a 9'5" Filipino guy. No offense.
Probably not.
No, but that is an interesting fact of the Bible is that we do have it talks about how many shekels his like armor weighed, and it was like 175 pounds. It was super heavy for a man to carry into battle. It's pretty cool stuff that even if you don't believe, someone still wrote that and made this great epic. There's a lot of cool stuff in that. As my brother calls it, the Desert Trilogy. He is funny. But
trilogy. What's the trilogy?
So
like the Torah, the rest of the books of the Old Testament and the New Testament?
It's the New Testament, Old Testament, and the Torah, the Desert Trilogy. He's like, yeah, it's right up there with Frank Herbert. He's a rascal. He always gives me a hard time out of love. But we did force him to go to private school where the class he usually got in trouble in was religion, which surprisingly was me too. So since we don't have a guest, Andy and I are still going to take the roles of telling you what is some cool stuff that's been happening with us recently. I have some good news and I have some bad news, which I kind of just forgot what the bad news was, but it's not super bad news. It's funny bad news.
Take it away.
Well, I'm trying to think about it and I cannot remember what it was. So if you know, you can definitely go. Oh, I do.
Do I know what your bad news was, Stevie?
I know what mine is now. I know what it is. So I was talking all high and mighty about my Moon Knight issue 1. Turns out it's not the issue number 1. It is issue number 1 from the 1989 series. There's a 1984 series. And I was unrationally upset. Or is that the word? Irrationally upset about this at the comic book store when I saw. I was like, why is that Moon Knight comic so expensive? Like, that's issue 1, the first one that ever came out. And it's like, is that a variant cover? I mean, guys, I got the first book, and that's not it. And they showed me on Wikipedia. I was like, son of a bitch. but it's only like $40. So next time I'm there, I'm going to pick it up. There's a brand new, that's my good news. There's a brand new comic book store in Austin, Texas. It took over this stupid kids shoe store, like overpriced kids shoe store. The real reason people went there anyways, because they had this like jungle gym for the kids while the parents were spending $500 on shoes.
Yeah.
But because my parents took me there and we left without shoes. So, but I did play. But it's the owner is the descendant of the person of the pinball machines, like the creator of pinball.
Wow.
So yeah, it's really cool. And I was like, is he worried about making profit? Because he's got like 6 workers here who are getting definitely minimum wage and no one's in here buying except for me. And they're like, he's not worried about money. He just had a huge collection of cool shit that he just wanted to sell. And apparently he had a pallet of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. He had a pallet of ultra rare comics. And I've already spent probably $300 there. No lie. This is just from one weekend. I got 2 new Yu-Gi-Oh cards that I did not need just because I love Dark Magician. That's Toon Dark Magician. Oh, wait. So you can see where I could have went to
Stevie.
I love
any sort of like maturity you might have built up over the last few episodes, like takes right away.
What maturity did I build up? Now you're offending me.
I don't know. Had there been any.
But one last thing cool. And if you're in Austin, Texas, it's not hard to find. Just look up the word comic book store in Austin. They have history memorabilia. So they have old katanas that if you know, to make sure katana is real, a lot of people don't know this, but on the buka, I forgot what it's called, but the creator of the sword actually signs it before they put the hilt on, which is really cool. And they have 2 of those for like $5,000. And they have Nazi things, actual stuff. They have old tank posters like join the tank brigades for World War I. Really cool. And I'm like, dude, we should be paying to come in here to look at all this cool stuff. But that's my good news. We don't have anything like that in Austin, Texas, and LA actually doesn't have anything really like that. So I got lucky, and it's like right down the road. So
that's awesome.
It's bad news for my wallet, but good news for the pinball man.
What does Lisa think about all of this?
She's surprisingly supportive, and she asked me because whenever we're in there together, I keep apologizing because I'm like, I'm so sorry, Lisa. I know I'm taking forever. I know I'm talking everybody's ear off, but I speak their language, Lisa. I'm around people all day who don't speak this language.
Yep.
Just like we're talking about how they want to get the Darth Maul actor to. Oh my God, his name Ray Parks. He's actually a wushu master. A lot of people don't know that. But they want to bring him in. I'm like, how much money does this pinball guy have to spend? So Lisa's supportive, and I do tell her, like last time we went, I was like, I have a $20 limit, and I spent it on Yu-Gi-Oh cards. So, but they have like all this signed stuff they have everything authenticated. But anyway, see, I'm doing the same thing I do with Lisa. I just talk about it. But that's my good news.
Very cool. That's very good news. So for me, let's see, some interesting things happened this week. Starting off with, I finished Cerberus Book 7 today, like literally an hour and a half ago.
Very cool.
It was supposed to be like, it was a decent sized book, and it expanded to 116,000 words, which is very long for sci-fi. But I feel like it's pretty cool because he's taking on an organization of assassins, which is just fun. And what I think the most enjoyable part of this book was writing shitty names for the assassins. Like making fun of, how like some Marvel and DC superheroes and villains, they have really, really ridiculous names. So I got to do that here. Every one of these assassins, they sort of go by a code name, so that, obviously they don't want to reveal their true identity. And so it's like they find that's basically a dating website, but instead of dating profiles, it's profiles for what these assassins can do, their list of skills and stuff. And then their code names. And so like so many times it was just making fun of these code names and kind of having fun with it. It was really, really fun to do that.
What is it? Deathstroke, Deadpool, Deadshot is a Batman one. Well,
Yeah.
Deathstroke is also. Who is Deadshot, by the way?
Deadshot he's got a red suit, all white helmet, and he's got like crosshairs on his right eye. And he shoots like a gun from his wrist.
Oh my God, you're right. Yeah. So what's the difference between this guy and Deathstroke?
Deathstroke has only one eye, and he's got the blue and orange helmet. He's got like a chainmail looking suit of armor, and he has a sword.
Yeah, the sword part is the selling point for me. The only thing I really don't like about Deathstroke is they usually have him as this old man.
Well, he is.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't really relate as much, I guess, but I definitely like him a lot. But I actually liked Deadpool in the old Wolverine movies, the X-Men movies. Everybody hated that, but I thought he was cool looking. You know, he was serious, but of course, Deadpool now is way better.
Yeah.
Wade Wilson, right?
Yeah.
Wade Wilson.
And it's Slade Wilson is Deathstroke. Like basically Deadpool was kind of a ripoff of Deathstroke.
It was there to make fun of him, right?
Not so much to make fun of him, but to sort of capitalize on the popularity of that kind of more edgy character. And then whoever wrote him just made him entertaining. And like it was at the beginning, he really wasn't as insane as he ended up being.
I was going to ask.
Yeah, he was a lot less insane. I'd say he's, bordering on normal. But over the course of his various iterations, he became more and more insane until we have stories like, Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe and things like that.
A and I were so. Who is your favorite superhero, Andy? I want to say Superman. No, it's Deadpool.
Deadpool, Wolverine, and the Punisher.
Why would you say Wolverine?
Mainly because he's so underpowered in comparison to so many other people. He's kind of got survival, and he's got he's hard to kill, but at the end of the day, it's all his strength. It's all his direct frontal assault. You don't have people like Iron Man who are, calling down orbital strikes from their satellites or, sending an army of drone or remote piloted, armor. Like you've got Wolverine and it's just like right up there and in your face. And of course his stories were like way darker, which was so much more entertaining after sort of the Avengers cheerfulness.
So did he have a drinking problem in the early comics? I mean, I don't see how, Marvel could have gotten. It's Marvel, right?
No, Iron Man had the drinking problem, like an actual drinking problem. I think it was something in a bottle. I can't remember exactly what it was, but that was an Iron Man thing. Wolverine was just a drinker, right?
He can't get drunk, can he?
No, he can't. So it takes like super strong stuff to get him drunk, which, I think in a couple of his limited edition runs or, like some of his arcs, they had people like actually crafting special booze for him and stuff. But for the most part, he just drank a ton of beer and occasionally whiskey. And,
I gotta say, I did not know you were so knowledgeable about comics. It's my weakest link.
When it comes to the Marvel Universe, there is a lot that I know just because I was a pretty hardcore fan for about 10 years. And so I not only kept up with what was coming out, but I went back a lot. I think I started like the late 1990s or mid 1990s, like all of those stories, everything that had to do with the Avengers and the X-Men, not really Fantastic Four, and then of course, Deadpool. So basically everything that I could get my hands on of those ones, I read a lot of it. So you kind of pick stuff up. And there's some storylines that I don't know, like the original Jean Grey becoming the Dark Phoenix one, but then the new Dark Phoenix one,
I heard that was a flop.
The movie was a flop. I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it either. I'm surprised you haven't, being the Wolverine fan. But this is after Logan's way after all of this, right?
Yeah. Well, I think they kind of messed with the timeline and stuff. I'm not really sure.
Okay. It's kind of like a Joker kind of thing with man, I can never say his name. It's kind of like another universe, maybe. Alternate universe.
No, I mean, I'm not sure. Like in the Days of Future Past movie, they messed with the timeline so Magneto and Charles Xavier and all those guys, like, it kind of changed their story. And after, I think I barely paid attention to Apocalypse, so I'm not really sure what the world is like in the Dark Phoenix one.
So what did you think about the ending of Logan? Fitting?
Oh, yeah. I didn't like it as much because
Really?
I like Wolverine. Well, I liked Wolverine, so I wanted to see more Wolverine. And the fact that he died at the end means it was the end of really Wolverine and Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Like, they're talking about rebooting Wolverine, which I'm not totally opposed to, but it's like after Tony Stark, after Robert Downey Jr., imagine someone else trying to play Tony Stark. It just doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
So now, they're thinking about doing Rescue, which is the Pepper Potts character. I think Ironheart, which is a young African-American girl who takes over Tony Stark's sort of mechanical stuff, like the armor and stuff after he dies, or he's her sort of mentor remotely, whatever the story is. But I like that. But just like trying to bring back anybody else or trying to make a new Wolverine is going to be an uphill battle all the way.
I gotta say, when the whole thing with Pepper in Iron Man 3, for me, it just ruined it. I feel like it got complicated. I'm not a big Rescue fan, so she's got firepower now, and she's got a suit. What's going on?
No, so the Rescue is the suit. It's the suit that he made for her.
Okay.
And the firepower thing, I think they depowered her at the end of that movie. I don't really remember.
Okay. Yeah, it was either they depowered her or they stabilized her so he could find a cure, but she has the suit in Avengers Endgame.
Yeah. Which was cool because it was a cool nod to the character. It's a cool nod to Pepper as a character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, that they're showcasing what a badass she has the potential to become, or she could have become over the course of the 5 years, since the snap or whatever. But what they do with her, like the Rescue story arcs, I never really read any of them, or I think I read maybe one of them, and it was fine. It was it was different. So it's going to be interesting. They're talking about putting her in the TV, like the Disney Plus TV shows, I think, and then potentially bringing her into sort of the female-led movie, which is going to have like She-Hulk, and it's going to have, what's her name, Captain Marvel, and potentially Rescue and others.
So did you hear about that rumor about them bringing in oh my God, why am I forgetting? It's Daredevil. They want to. Have you heard the Daredevil rumors?
Yeah, I think they're gonna bring him into the TV shows, though. I don't know if they're gonna bring him into the movies. Like they might write him into the Winter Soldier or one of them.
She-Hulk is what I heard.
There you go. Yeah, that seems it's the perfect one because Jennifer Walters is a lawyer and she often goes up against Daredevil in court or working on the same side as him, in court with Matt Murdock. And then they'll sometimes have team ups, or often that's their only, link in the story is them across from each other in the courtroom kind of thing.
So do you think they're going to use the same actor for Daredevil?
I would think so.
I would hope so. I think that was part of the success.
Like, it's so recent that they wouldn't. I don't think they'd change it.
What happened with the Twilight? What is his name? Edward. I don't even know his actor name. I just see him as Edward. He's playing the new Batman.
Yeah.
Apparently, people are actually happy about it because he looks good.
They released some footage of some sort in the last month or two, and I didn't hate it. It didn't leave a huge impression on me, mostly because I don't watch those kind of things. Usually, like sometimes I'll even skip the trailer unless it's a movie that I'm really, really excited about, or it catches my interest. Most of the time, I'll skip the trailer just so that it doesn't have anything of a spoiler or whatever. But I think as an actor, there are worse actors out there. I've never seen anything where he super impressed me, Robert Pattinson, but people seem to be impressed with him in the one of the Lighthouse Keeper or whatever it was called.
Yeah. I never watched it, but because I was looking him up because I thought everyone's going to be so mad that he's playing Batman. But I mean, he's got that chiseled jawline, which is like him and Clark Kent, right? You just got to have that chiseled jaw. But plus, aren't they going to make it more like a detective thing?
I'm not really sure. I have kind of like kept away from it just because I don't want it to be ruined by being overhyped, especially because of how basically every single DC universe movie has been to date, except for Wonder Woman. We talked about that last week. Wonder Woman, I have no complaints or few complaints.
Oh yeah.
Pretty much every other one has been a letdown, and so the more they got hyped up, sort of the more I was let down going into them. So. I just kind of kept, ignoring it, or I'm ignoring this. And then when it comes out, I'll watch it and see how good or bad it is.
Very true. Yeah. So I think I fell back in love with Batman. I fell out of love from Justice League, and I I like Ben Affleck, and I liked him as Batman. I wish for a lot of other things, and I'm not very critical of movies, but I'm playing Arkham Knight, the Batman game, and I've re-fallen back in love with Batman. Oh my god, that game is freaking fun, and it's pretty old. It's not dated, I guess, but it's freaking awesome.
Yeah. I enjoyed those games. I enjoyed them less than I thought I would because it's so much puzzle aspect to it.
I don't like the puzzles. I'm not good with the puzzles. I thought you would like those though.
I like puzzles, but not when I'm trying to play a video game. When it comes to video games, I usually have very little time. So it's like, get me to the action, because this is something that I can't, I could do a puzzle in my living room.
Exactly. So. Yeah. You and I, we don't have time to go on all these side missions and stuff. We want the story, but you can do that. But I feel like I'm missing out.
Yeah. Or there's the whole collector's aspect. And the more you collect, the more, weapons or outfits you unlock, things like that. So there is something to be said for collecting everything, but it's so time consuming that it's annoying. So
yeah, I that's why I stopped playing Sly Cooper. It's a kid's game, but it was so much collecting. I was like, I don't have time for any of this. But so today we have an interesting topic that we're going to talk about at least a little bit, which is staying positive in a world of negatives, which I'm guessing this was Brandon's idea. It sounds like Brandon.
No, it was actually mine. It was
your idea. Okay.
I was thinking about what to talk about because, the idea that Brandon came up with was, we're not going to talk about it because he's not here. So I was just thinking, and I was like, man, with everything going on right now, what could we possibly talk about that would be fitting? Could we talk about the whole racism aspect? Could we talk about, the police brutality? Like, what could we actually talk about to sort of bring a bit of positivity to all the negativity? And that was like, oh, well, there we go. That's kind of exactly what we can talk about, is just how hard it is, I think, for so many people right now to find even that shred of positivity and, everything that we are seeing. I know that I am having a really hard time just because, every day I'm scrolling through my phone. My Facebook has been a place where it's business, all of my author friends, all of the groups that I'm in, just the business stuff. But now it's like, it's just nonstop posts about all these kind of things. And it's not like I want to turn my back on them because it's all really important stuff. But it's, I'm feeling it. It's harder for me to feel like, the world's okay. Everything's going to be okay because there's so much going on at the moment. And so it's like, how can I stay positive amid all of this negativity? And I thought, well, who better to talk to about it than the guy who's all, power of attraction, eternal optimism, stuff like that, Stevie Collier. So I was
wondering who you're talking about. Like, who are you talking to? I want to talk to him. No, thank you, Andy. It's funny is even on my law of attraction channel, I have discovered something that I really don't like about Kai Valentine, not him, but about the channel. There's so many people who are desperate and they read The Secret and they watch these other YouTube channels and they're like, if I just think about what I want, I will get it. And that's not how it works. If you're not taking action, you're not going to get anywhere. Life is you're turning the gumball machine and you're just wanting that gold gumball, which is taking action, which is turning that thing. That's how you become successful, is actually doing things. And it's made me actually change from just law of attraction to I'm now talking more about the Bible, and I'm using the things that I learned in school to teach about Lisa didn't know about David and Goliath. So I was like, oh my God, how many other people don't know about David and Goliath? I could talk all day about King David. I could do it. So I'm going to do that. And then every law of attraction video from now on, I am going to try to get people to unsubscribe who don't want to hear the hard truth. So it's going to be you got to take pause. You got to take action. So kind of an update on all of that. I've been really struggling with it because I'm not in it for the money. I don't want to make a course and then people are like, if I just sit in bed all day. But with what is surprising to me with all this bad stuff going on in the world, views have dropped for everybody on YouTube in the self-help region. And I thought it would have been opposite. What do you think about that? It's so weird.
Yeah, I feel like when there's so much going on, it's harder to keep up with it's harder to keep up with sort of your personal growth. And I think it's something that we saw a lot with sort of the initial lockdown, is that when everybody went into quarantine, there were all these posts about, use this time, write the next great novel, paint, take up a hobby. And honestly, what we saw was that a lot of people just needed to sort of sit down and not do any of those things. I know that it's something that I've seen very, very often, is people are saying, it's the lockdown's almost over and I haven't done anything. Like I haven't done, whatever they set out to do. And that's sort of the pressure, this external pressure, when really what they needed to do was they've been working, people who have had, careers 10, 20, 30 years, they've been doing the same thing. And now they can't go to work. They're forced to sit down, and it sort of forces them to stop and disconnect. And it's almost like they collapse. I know it happens to me a lot after I've been working really, really hard to finish a book. Mm-hmm. I'm driven, but then eventually when I'm done and the pressure's off, it's like I collapse. And so I think it's something that happened with a lot of people. So like people were just like binging Netflix because it's like, look, there's so much that I'm struggling with. The idea of putting more emotional investment and mental investment into sort of self-help or personal growth is just too much for me to handle right now.
Very true. Yeah. And what about for us though, work continued, and for a lot of people, work continued, maybe to a lesser extent.
Yeah.
I actually collapsed mid-work on Sunday, and I think it was the first time Lisa ever saw me just really just have a mental breakdown about all the stuff that I have going on in my life.
Wow.
With several different businesses, and I could not get a YouTube video right. It's for it's just for, it was a Kai Valentine video, and I couldn't get it right. And I was so frustrated. I wanted to punch a hole in the wall, and I wanted to throw my very expensive camera. Literally, like I was already considering how could I buy another one. That's how mad I was. And people don't see me as this person, but it's just, yeah, I'm the goofy guy on the podcast, but I run a lot of businesses and I get frustrated just like everyone else. Yep. I'm not always Mr. Positive, and I broke down. I didn't cry, but I put my head in the couch and I couldn't think. And I just went blank. And then finally Lisa got me up, and I just worked on a Star Wars puzzle. and she brought up the Bible, and of course I started yammering, and I felt better after that. But it was a good 5 hours of a breakdown, which for me is a lot.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And I think that's something that I've been struggling with too, especially in the last, I'd say 2 weeks. This sort of feeling of futility, like, why am I doing what I'm doing? Why am I working as hard as I am? All this stuff. And I think it has a lot to do with external factors and internal factors, but it's like, it's hard to stay positive sometimes. It's hard to keep going when things are like this. And so like after your breakdown, what did you do to sort of pick yourself back up?
It was kind of like a reset button. I took the importance out of it all and just knew that it was just something I had to do. And I realized I wasn't being in the moment. This is my weekend with Lisa. Enjoy it. Work on your puzzle. Talk to her, and everything will be okay. It's kind of like that self-soothing kind of things. But it was really, I think, just me putting so much importance on getting the thing done, getting it done. And I didn't have the time to do it. I get really hard on myself. My mom always said, Stevie doesn't need to get spanked. He'll do it himself. I always have been that way, that if I'm disappointed with myself, I will punish myself. And that was just what happened. I was so disappointed in me not being able to get something right. I broke down. So, but I'm not usually down very long. I I'm always trying to find something I could do that's fun. I give myself a little bit of a break at some point. And the Star Wars Lego kind of just took my mind off things.
That's good. That's good.
It's something nerdy,
Absolutely.
But the unfortunate thing is I can't sit down and write when I'm in that mood. That's not something that's going to cheer me up. I don't know how that is for everybody else, but I can't do it.
No, I'm the same. If I'm feeling like that sometimes, it's happened maybe 4 or 5 times in the last, since basically lockdown started, where it's like I'm spent, or I'm exhausted physically or emotionally, or my brain is just overtired, and so it's like I didn't work. I took time off. I spent time playing video games, and I mean, I'm still here. I'm still sitting down and writing, so I haven't burnt out. So I suppose that's a fairly good choice, is being sort of kind to yourself, and not like, up until late last year, I would push through no matter what, there were no bad days allowed. There were no off days. Whatever happened, I had to sit down and write. And that nearly broke me last year. So it's been sort of the last, I don't know, 7 or 8 months of just trying to let myself take it easier. And I don't think I have taken it much easier. I'm still, let's see, I started writing the Cerberus series in, I think, August or September. So it's been 9 or 10 months, and I've written 8 books in that time. So it's not like my productivity is slacked a great deal.
No.
So I think, but just sort of like you said, taking the pressure off of myself and saying, yes, it's okay to do that today. It's okay to let yourself be weak, or to let yourself have a bad day. It's so much easier to push through the bad days when you can, because that if it ever gets too bad, you can stop and you can just take that time off.
It's kind of weird. Actually, I'm reading Tiger. He said, and by the way, Anita, that's awesome about your show. I didn't even know about it. He says, I love video games too, but they are a dangerous distraction for me. Oh yeah, well there you go. First of all, Tiger, screw you. Why do you have such a cool name? Why do you have such a cool name? I want that name. Is that really his real name? Like, I've met a tiger before. Super strong dude, but Tiger, that's not fair. I wonder. I bet he gets that all the time. But because my girlfriend's favorite animal is a tiger, and she's got it tattooed on the side of her body. But so yes, it's a dangerous distraction. And I want to, from the opposite way though, it's like, I feel like Andy, you and I are so driven that we don't spend enough, that we need that distraction or we break down. It's kind of an interesting conundrum to be in when you're not letting yourself hit those distractions.
I have to choose games that give me a chance to sort of pop in and pop out. Like I can't do those big wide open world games where I don't feel like I'm making progress on the story or, moving things forward, because then I could spend 4 hours, 10 hours playing the game to sort of feel like there's a bit of progress. So I like games like, say, Call of Duty, right? You finish a mission, the mission's done. You get that sort of completion feeling, the sense of satisfaction that you finished, and then you can stand up and walk away. That's the way that I approach gaming. When there's games that, like we were talking about, the Batman game, right? There are certain missions, but you can go for forever just solving puzzles and collecting the stuff. That is when it becomes a time suck. Whereas if you, like for me, I know that, okay, if I'm playing a multiplayer game, I'm playing Mass Effect 3 now. So it's like, I know that a multiplayer game will take about 20, 25 minutes. So as long as I keep watching the clock, I know, okay, I've got time for one more game, or I don't have time for one more game. It's pretty simple. The individual missions will take anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes. So as long as I'm aware of what time it is, and I know what my next work shift is, or when, the kids come home and I got to have lunch ready, all of that, it's easier for me to say, okay, I finished this mission. Now I can get up and walk away and get back to what I'm doing. So that's how I've been able to play video games without getting, totally lost. I mean, there have been a couple of days, I think 2 days in the last, since the lockdown started, where it was just like, all right, this is a day to game. I think I played like 7 hours, 2 days, but the rest of the time it's been like an hour, hour and a half, 2, 3 hours, between work shifts or in the evening and stuff.
Tiger makes a good point here. His favorite one, WoW or Path of Exile, World of Warcraft is probably one of my favorite games to play. I had to cancel the subscription because it's cocaine. But and now we have Ashes of Creation coming out, which I'm actually a patron for. Like I spent money 3 years ago, like $85, and it's almost in beta. It's like almost an alpha. I'm sorry. But that's another soul sucking game. And I bought it whenever I had time. And now I don't. But yeah, I get it. MMO RPGs are just off limits unless you have like set time. You're like, I got to get off raid or not. I don't know. But this is a great topic for people. And my biggest advice would be advice I wish I could take myself sometime.
Yeah.
Seriously. And that is slow down, be in the moment, which I would say is like in the same thing, which is very hard to do to stay in the moment. It's almost impossible. Like monks who study all their lives to do that, I'm sure they forget when they're pooping or something. They probably don't want to be in that moment of diarrhea. But I don't know why I went to poop. I was doing so good.
So weird.
Yeah. So it's slow down and take time for yourself and your family. And 3, give value to make your business about the consumer and changing their life rather than it all being about you. And that's a really tough one for me. And I know that sounds bad, but I'm human. I want money, but I've gotten so much better. I've talked about this before on Fantasy Fiends, is really trying to make that reader happy.
Mm-hmm.
Those are my tips. Now give me some that I should write a course on that. Just those 3 things.
Yeah.
Like a 5-minute booklet that you pay me $100 for.
Very, very good, Stevie.
Off note, there's a YouTube guy. He does his ads and he's like 18 years old and he's like a self-proclaimed guru. Oh my God. I don't want to say he's a bad person, but his videos are so obnoxious and he's giving you no value. He's just telling you all of his merits. Like, I just had a $30,000 day where someone just walked with me and I just told him about my lifestyle. I'm like, you're so full of crap. You're there's a weird guru wave going on right now. And it makes everyone else who has courses look bad because there's kids like this. And he keeps bringing up his dad and saying, you'll see it. If you're an entrepreneur and you look up, money things on YouTube, you're gonna see this kid. And I know it's kind of off topic, but I feel like people like that just make things way worse.
That's very true.
It's modern day scam artists. There's those late night ads, from the 90s. That's what this is.
The new infomercials on YouTube. Yes. when you're channel surfing on YouTube. I have never once done that, channel surfing on YouTube.
I'm a YouTube addict. Like YouTube is everything. I study it. I watch funny things on it. I love, that's my platform, everybody. So I do channel surf.
I only get my music from YouTube.
That's a good idea. It messes with the algorithm for me because I like all my like ninja stuff. And if I listen to music, it just offers me music. I forgot the best news of all, everybody. There is a new surf park in Texas. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's a miracle. And it's even better than the one in Austin. It's in Waco, Texas. And the cool thing about it is you can bring your own freaking board.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I hate soft tops. I've never been have you ever Andy, you seem like the kind of guy, if they give you the easy option and then the kind of harder option, you go for the harder option. It's like a challenge. The soft top is that easy version, and I can't stand it. I've never liked it. I felt like I was wearing a life jacket. As a kid, I hated life jackets because I was like, if I can't swim, I'm just going to drown. That's what I deserve. You see, that's where I get it from. It's like self-punishment. It's like, if I can't swim, I'm just going to freaking drown. But yeah, new surf park, bar and grill. Not only that, it's got the longest lazy river in Texas. A cable park. Have you heard of that? Have you done wakeboarding?
Yeah.
I couldn't stand up.
It's hard.
It's hard, yeah. And I was in better shape back then. I couldn't do it. You got to hold your legs up, and you look like you're squatting to poop in the water. And I remember the next day at Chili's, like my forearms were so sore I couldn't grip my fork.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have one of those where you hold onto the cable and it takes you through all the ramps and stuff. I'm gonna do it.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, they pull you off the ramp, so you don't have to like be in the water and stand up. Mm-hmm. So they say you have to already know what you're doing. So I guess I'm just gonna lie.
Yeah, and die.
Or they see me flop on the ramp, just dead. And then one last thing that this park has is a huge slide that shoots you off like 15 feet in the air. I'm in heaven, people. I love water. So good news.
Is it even open though?
It's open, yes. And it's even better because there's only 9 to 12 people on a party wave. A party wave is like where you can have multiple people on a wave. Mm-hmm. And they have beginner, intermediate, and advanced waves. And you can actually barrel, which is where the water goes over you and you're in like the little cave. So I'm going to take lessons to how to. So of course I'm upper intermediate. So I'm going to take lessons every now and then to try to get my first barrel because I've never done it. So Jim says he watches blacksmithing and woodworking. That's freaking awesome. I actually have Jim, you would like this guy he goes and reads medieval texts, and then he actually goes and does what these people do. And he meets with, and you've probably seen him.
What's his name?
He looks like me, just a lot older with longer hair. I don't know. He was only, when I found him, he only had like 2,000 subscribers, and now he's like 150,000.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean the guy. I feel like he already had money, and so he had a lot to put into the channel. But he just released a video. How was it like for a medieval soldier walking through the snow in armor? So I'm looking it up right now because I mean it's walking in snow. Yeah, here it is. Okay, it's Modern History TV. So really good stuff. I actually study this channel for my fantasy books.
Yeah, I use it. I use a lot of YouTube use YouTube a lot for research. Like, I think it was yesterday that I was looking up 50 caliber bullets on bulletproof car glass. Because I needed to know 50 caliber bullets. 50 caliber bullets are heavier bullets shot by more powerful guns.
Okay,
and bulletproof glass.
What happens when they hit?
Yeah, exactly. Like, can a 50 caliber bullet punch through bulletproof glass? If so, what does it sound like? What are the effects? Does glass, like, how does the glass shatter? Yeah. Is it spider cracks, or like it's just to get information for the story. And the same thing with the fantasy stuff. I would do a ton of research. Actually, that's how I came up with a lot of the layout for the military fantasy series, Silent Champions. I watched a video on the Roman tactics of the 3 eras of Roman military history.
Good stuff.
Yeah, just all kinds of stuff. So basically anything you want to know, you can pretty much find there. But usually, like when I go on YouTube, it's basically for music. I love this thing. I've been doing this thing in the last couple of months where I listen to a song, like for example, Black Sabbath, or even like I was looking up the Phantom of the Opera. But then I get like the techno version of them, or the EDM version of them. So like they're remixes, and they end up being so much cooler.
Yeah, so do they have to get the rights though for that before they can mix it, or when you mix it, it becomes now your IP?
No, so they're almost always sort of like bootlegs. Like they're kind of illegal. They're not the official remix, and often they'll get taken down.
That's okay. Yeah, because I often want to do an intro for like, I'm thinking about making a new channel when I have time, but I wanted it to have like Pokemon sound effects, but I'm too afraid to do it because if you have 100 videos and finally Pokemon's like, oh, you're huge, take down your shit.
What you can do is you can buy like sound effects and Pokemon like they won't be exactly Pokemon sound effects, but it'll have that Pokemon like sound.
What about the Pokeball though? What if I made the red and white like green and white? Is it still too close?
Yeah, you don't want to straight rip them off.
Yeah. Well, I'm not selling anything Pokemon, which it's still illegal. And I'm all about, because we had this person who stole our fishing net idea in the same town. And oh man, people, I get customers, and this is how it is working customer service. If you work customer service, you know what this is. They always come to me. oh yeah, well I'm going to go to your competitors if you don't give me a free product, because yes, I know mine's out of warranty, but I'm going to go over here. And I send them like screenshots of where we know the people. They're like almost blood related, and like, this is where your blob's going to get built, and this is the kind of person that's going to build it. It's not going to be good. Like, it's so I don't know where I was going with this, but I'm a little butthurt, if you can't tell. I'm a little butthurt because I don't like it when people, there's that word. It's not exasperation. It's whenever you threaten for a product in order, you either give me this product or I'm going to leave you a 1-star review on Amazon. That's a sad reality of working on Amazon, because it's very much consumer bias. Like, it wants the consumer to always win. Yeah. So we often have to end up giving away free product for people who are threatening us, because Amazon won't do anything.
Oh, I got this hilarious review on Assassination Protocol, like a 2-star review that said, like, didn't mean to buy this.
What?
Like they accidentally clicked on the book or something.
Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, dude. Like, that's I got this 1-star review, but I guess they took it down. I don't see it anymore, but it was, I didn't like the silly humor, but it was really funny. And I was like, I don't understand. But
yeah, no, they took down that review, and then another one where their reviewer was like, "Oh, I thought this was an actual pack of books it was for my my box set, I think. Let me see."
I just noticed today that I got a 3-star review, and it says, "Couldn't stay with it, a bit nonsensical for me. Of course, I didn't like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which, shame on you. If you like that, you probably would like this one." Well, just don't write the review. Seriously.
Yeah.
You're just hurting my business, but I still think that's a compliment, though. I got to say, the most money I ever made as an author was using my 1-stars as Facebook ads.
That's awesome.
It worked out so well because it goes with my brand, the silly guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so man, Jim, go check out that channel, medieval history TV. That's a good one. Yeah, I like the blacksmithing ones, but I'm like ADD, because I am ADD. Like, I've been diagnosed, and whenever I see the beginning project, I just fast forward to the end to see what it is, because I can't wait. And I'm also like that in TV shows, where I'll just tell Lisa, like, what happens. Just tell me the end before I watch it. It drives her crazy, I bet.
But I would hate you. Like, yeah. I would hate you so hard.
The funny thing is, though, with movies, I'm the exact opposite. I won't tell you anything about it. I will just, once the scene happens, I will tell you, like, what happened in the director's cut or whatever. I'm a movie buff. That's my thing. Yours is comics, right? I'm like that with movies.
TV is my current.
TV is?
Yeah.
I just, movies to me are my favorite thing. My favorite thing, I told Lisa, in the world is to watch a movie at home with friends and family that I love, and we all can talk during the movie. I know people hate that.
I hate that so hard.
I know. But when Lisa really enjoys my commentary, which is part of how we work, because I can't shut up. I will say, though, I don't talk during a movie theater time. That is, the screen is everything. That's my pet peeve, when people are talking in a movie theater. I have tried to get people kicked out for it, and because like, horror stories of movie theaters, that's one way to get me to an 8 out of 10 anger. You're okay. You're watching the movie, and it's a quiet scene that you hear. Oh God! Oh my God! It's not. If they do it again, I'm going to say something. It's if they, if it's like the second time and it wasn't an accident, I'm calling you out in the theater. Yeah, I actually got in not a fight, but it was like it could have been a fight with a Armenian gang. And I just had to walk out, and I informed the police officer, like, hey, they're threatening me. And I got 2 free tickets out of it, but I never went back. So I'm like, it's got a bad memory to it. But yeah, that's one of the things. Andy, what makes you mad?
Oh, so many things.
It's such
So
an
many things.
Andy answer.
No, I actually really hate it when people talk during movies, or like when they don't pay attention to the movie and then they ask
God.
you what's going on.
It's disrespectful because especially if you showed them that movie, and they're on their phone or something. One thing that gets me really mad is people who are condescending. That's just an all around, it makes everyone mad. To me, it's real. Like when I saw this on Reddit, don't you get pissed off when people say, "Did I ask you?" Oh, that's one. Like, I don't even think we could be friends again. If someone said that to me and they were like serious, may God's fury rain down upon you. I think it's fun to kind of take a step back and laugh at yourself about all the things, the dumb things that make you angry. Also, when two cars are side by side on the highway,
right?
And they're going like 5 miles under the speed limit. I'm like,
or trucks. Worse is when there's two trucks on the highway.
They should know better. And I think it's illegal for them to stay in the passing lane.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like that in Canada.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. It's just dangerous. But luckily in Texas, though, they're pretty good. I actually have this weird thing with truckers. They always flash me when there's a cop. And I wonder if it's because I drive a yellow Mustang. And they just I have this weird respect for me, but they always save my ass. It's really great. But, oh, man, what an episode. We basically talked about nothing, which is kind of the point of the whole thing. Just relaxing.
Absolutely.
If you can tell, Andy and I don't get to talk as much anymore with everything going on. So
yeah, Stevie and his new girlfriend, she's taken him away from me.
That new girlfriend, she got me this gift 2 years ago, which was the
holy shit. It's been 2 years.
It's been over 2 years.
Damn, man.
I about dug myself a hole. She's probably watching this. It's kind of funny. I saw this gift my mom got from the house because I moved out a long time ago. And it was these things Lisa got for me that they're these wax stamps that I do for signed books. And I never find it. But then I thought dumbly that my ex got it. So I was this close to throwing it away. A super expensive, custom thing with my name on it. I almost threw it away. And I was like, wow, we've been together a long time. And she goes, your ex doesn't care about you like that. And I said, seriously, I actually thought that. I'm like, wow, she used to really like me. No, it was Lisa. So yeah, I know, man. Time has flown just like this.
Awesome.
Episode. Usually when it's just us, we kind of end it a little bit early, but we just had a lot to say.
I don't think we've ever ended it early, Stevie. We always manage to talk.
Or I do.
Yeah. Essentially.
I feel like the Fantasy Fiends podcast was easy to start from the very beginning when we weren't even live. You remember?
Yeah.
Go watch episode. We should do a reaction video. That would be funny.
Except I don't cater to that lowest common denominator of internet garbage.
You should highlight what Steven said.
Steven said Andy was supposed to be nude this episode. I am from the waist down. Let's put it that way.
Hey Andy, will you stand up real quick? I gotta see something.
No, I will not, Stevie.
Oh my God, Steven's got a really luscious beard going on.
Yeah, he just got it trimmed. He posted about it on Facebook. Very snazzy beard trim, Steven.
Did he do it himself?
No, I think he got it professionally done. It was snazzy as all hell.
Wait, his barbers are up? I think mine are still closed here.
Oh, mine's open. Can't you tell?
Oh my God, dude, Steven. It looks good. Wow. Where does he go? He looks like a fantasy character.
Totally.
Someone who would carry a very heavy axe and just saved your ass.
I was thinking more of like a monk kind of character. Not like the D&D version of monk with a quarterstaff and badass fighting skills.
It gives me an idea for a GQ wizard, one who's really into their looks and puts perfume in their beard and stuff.
Like a wizard who put all of their stats into charisma.
Oh my God, dude. Call it. I call that character. I call it. Awesome. Well, Andy, who do we have next week?
We have Lena Radcliffe. She's a fantasy author.
That sounds really familiar. She doesn't write dragons, does she?
I don't think so.
What's her name again?
Lena Radcliffe.
Lena. Okay. All right. So she's Harry Potter. Yeah. Radcliffe, is that the Harry's name, right?
What?
Right?
Daniel Radcliffe?
Yeah.
Yeah, except his name has an E and hers doesn't. Anyways, you can stalk her later, Stevie.
Yeah. Ooh, girl. Gotta find girl. Awesome. So yeah, we have Miss Radcliffe coming on next week, and of course we will have a reading for you. Sorry, we didn't have one today, but with poor Brandon. But at least he's having fun.
Yeah. And an update on the D&D podcast. We've had 2 playthroughs. The first one was a lot of sort of figuring things out. The second one that we just had on Monday, it was hella entertaining. I, of course, saved the day in my spectacular way. In both episodes, my character like fails so hard in the beginning. And then at the end, like I rolled 2 20s on one, like in one roll.
Oh, nice.
And it was just like I destroyed the bad guy. It was very, very rewarding moment for me. But we've got another couple of test episodes to sort of really streamline things, work it out, and then we'll start doing them live. You guys are going to love them. They are absolutely hilarious.
I was part of the first one, and even though it was like the screw up day, it was a lot of fun.
It was really, really fun. The guy we had on last week, he nailed it with the character. Like he's a veteran when it comes to D&D, and so he knows his way around a character. So we're gonna have him on again this week to see if we can like figure things out. Steven, it is not up yet. Like they're all private videos. We've recorded them so that we'll have them as sort of like bonus content backstory because they're all kind of really awkward in the sense that, okay, what do we do here? How do I do this? All of that. We're just kind of finding our feet. But once the story, like basically what we're fighting now and the story we're doing now is kind of all prequel in a sense. And once we actually get going and we sort of streamline the game, we'll start doing them live on Mondays at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And you guys, you live audience, are going to be absolutely vital to the game process, which you will understand when we go live. You guys are going to love how you play a role in the game, literally.
That's a great idea.
And it is honestly, I have had so much fun both times. We laughed so hard the last one. And so I'm super excited for us to sort of work out the last kinks so that we can just start doing this live and bring you guys along on this adventure with us because it's been hella fun.
Awesome. Well, I think that's it for this week's podcast show thingy.
Wouldn't
you say, Andy? Awesome.
Absolutely.
Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us today. And if you really want to help us out, you can hit that like button, which helps the YouTube algorithm. And you can also share this on Facebook with your friends and family, those who will not be offended, I would say, not because of Andy. Well, sometimes. No. Be careful who you share this with, but do share it. Awesome. We will see you next week for another awesome episode of the Fantasy Fiends podcast. Have a great night.
It's going to take me a minute to hit the end broadcast button because the StreamYard is frozen.
You got to look at my face more. Look at it.
Okay. Don't make it weird, Stevie, or weirder than